is already inside me right now. I care for living, don't wanna be alone in this life. But it can be drowning, keep it for myself sometimes. It's all about trusting and freeing my own mind. I'm seeking balance. I'm seeking balance.
You ever seen that one movie, yeah? And you just caught the vibe. You ever seen that one movie, yeah? And you just caught the vibe.
I keep trying to find myself, lost in your eyes and I can't find my way out. Smoking mirrors fill I don't end it. I swear on my life that this will be the last time. You light up the dark, got me to places straight from your heart. I know that I'll cave in, give you a head start. We're better together, like birds of a feather. I picture us together when we're not together. I see me with you. When we're under the weather, we'll survive the pressure. I will never turn my back, never turn my back on you. When we're under the weather, we'll survive the pressure. I will never turn my back, never turn my back on you.
Si te vas, me darás de comer a los perros. Festín sin fin, entre colmillos, huesos. Es como estar atrapado entre Venus y Marte. Ahí, sin ti, dando vueltas, vueltas.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 19th Annual World Congress for Brain Mapping and Therapeutics. We have an honor of having some of our fellows who are on the front line of the war in Ukraine here to be on the call with us and talk to us, Dr. Fedorchenko and Dr. Potapova and Dr. Vadim Shapilov. So I want to know which one of them are available on the call. I know they're at the middle of a war, so Dr. Fedorchenko, are you there? Can you hear us? I think she's muted, huh? Okay. So, can you hear us? Yeah, you're muted, huh? Ready? Can you hear?
Yeah, people can hear me on the
No,
Zoom.
she can't hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Natalia, do you want to log off and log in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You lost her. All right.
I'm also here. It's Dr. Potapova. Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Dr. Potapova. How are you?
Hello
And
from Ukraine, from Kyiv, from shelter. I'm on the shelter, that's why I can't show my video due to internet connection. Here is very low, but I'm here.
So, Dr. Potapova, we are very sorry about what's happening in Ukraine. Would you mind tell us your story? What is the historical background of this? Because there are a lot of misinformation, there are a lot of lies from Russian media, and we would like to actually learn firsthand from our own doctors on the ground what is happening in Ukraine.
Yeah, so 21st of February, I woke up like another city, like another Ukrainian from bombs at 5 a.m. Imagine in 21st century at 2022 year in peaceful Kyiv, we woke up from the loud bangs, so from explosions in the Kyiv. And imagine near me lying my very little baby, 5 months old. I guess it's maybe not real. I'll open the Google and Google what happens, and then see the video from Vladimir Putin that he want help us. Imagine help the Russian-speaking people in Ukraine. Because I don't know why, but it's what I want to say from me, that I usually speak Russian here in Kyiv, in Ukraine. I born here, but I speak Russian usually daily, but never have any problem here. But he said that we have a problem and come here and attack civil people, attack not only military goals. They attacked our hospitals, maternity hospital, our houses. So the main problem right now is our air. Really, because every few hours we go to the shelter because of the possibility of air attack, and to save our lives of our relatives, we need to go to the safety places. Our army fighting, we are fighting, we do our job, but of course we need help from all over the world, because it's not only our war, it's war for everybody, I guess, because 21st century again, and the war, I can't believe right now, really, I can't believe that it happened. So the background is that Putin think that Ukraine is a part of USSR, so is a part of Russia, but it's not true. We are different because we are we love freedom, and we are not a Russian. And it's not a conflict. It's not a conflict, not an operation, military operation. It's a war. He against our border, and with army, of course, and we never forgot it. So right now we are fighting, and we will win.
I appreciate your time, and you know, I was a combat medic and I've seen wars, so I could completely relate to that. And I had some bad dreams last night, and I woke up this morning, you know, bringing back bad memories. So I just want to know a little bit more about how can we help you. You send me some information which I've shared with you know, key people who could actually help on the ground. So tell us, you know, how we as an organization can help you in Ukraine.
Yeah, so I send some little instruction how you can help. So we have a list with highest priority items and the second priority items that our hospitals needed. So some medical equipments, drugs, and etc. So you can donate and see what exactly we need, or you can donate by money or some supplies. You can choose. Our organizations that call Razom for Ukraine helped with shipping and with logistics, because it's not so easy to ship the boxes and etc. So we have the special organization Razom for Ukraine.org that help to ship. So you can read the instruction that I sent, and for all of who hear me right now, of course we need some help because we are fighting with the biggest country in the world. Yeah, so that's why we need some help, and if you can donate, of course. If you want, if you can donate and help us with medical supplies.
Okay, so we will share that information with the entire convention, and we will also request from everybody to support you and send financial support. So we will talk about this at the gala later tonight. So. Dr. Fedorchenko, you were in Poland in a refugee camp and now in Germany. So can you tell us your side of the story and kind of, again, put this in the historical and kind of a local perspective so we can educate our colleagues who are actually, we are live on YouTube, and we can actually educate them about what's happening on the ground.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Katek, for giving me the word, and thank you all SBMT family for having me here. Thank you, Dr. Katerina, for actually sharing all the information and from your side, and also found this organization like Razom for Ukraine. I really hope that SBMT will support Ukraine because our country right now needs it. Speaking about myself, when the war began, I was like Katrina. I woke up at 5 a.m., but my actually flat was located near the Zhuldani airport, so it was like pretty close, and my house was shattering a little bit from that bombing. And I stayed in Kiev for 3 days. I was going to the underground and tried to stay from that attacks. And then, since I was located close to the strategical objects, I decided that I need to leave the Ukraine. And my first scene is, not Ukraine, Kiev. And my first scene was to go to my relatives who is living next to the Poland in the region in Ukraine called Ternopil. But yeah, I have my mom there and she's living alone. It's a small village. I decided, well, if I go there, I will stuck there and I will not like bring any income to her, and I will not be able to support my country as well. So I decided that I need to go abroad, and I went to the Polish border. I spent there 2 days. We were like, if you see the media, we walked there for like 15 kilometers. I was with some of my students also because we met there, and we actually went through the border. It took us 3 days. We used the train. We arrived to Poland, and Polish people was very welcomed. They bring us food, they bring us water, and bring us everything because we were very tired. For what we are really grateful to them. And the volunteers actually bring us to the special camp where they provided us like food, also place where we could stay. I stayed there for a few days, but in Poland there are really a lot of refugees. And I had the possibility because I have my like childhood friend in Germany, and I decided like, okay, Natalia, you should go further because in Ukraine right now I cannot like work. I can just stuck in some shelters, and I do not have family, so I have to bring some my knowledge to the people. So I come to Germany, and I'm thinking that here I will do some volunteer job for Ukrainian people who come in here. I already talked to some doctors. Maybe I will be helpful there. And also I will look for some job here as well. So to get my life for now here to support my family.
Okay, well, first, I'm glad that both of you are you safe, and also I'm glad that Dr. Vadim is also safe. But we as an organization, we have the duty to humanity here. We have to get our head out of the sand of science and look around ourselves and roll up our sleeves and help you. So I cannot thank you enough to be with us. I know it's a rough time, and I'm actually controlling myself not to burst into tears, but I think you will find a lot of supporters in this convention, and what we see on TV and what I hear on the ground, it's gruesome and horrible. With that said, as I said, we're going to mobilize here today, and we're going to create a Ukraine task force today, as we did the task force for COVID-19 and Fast Track Therapeutics published papers, pushed for clinical trials and so on. So we will be led by you and Dr. Potapova. On the ground, tell us what you need, and then we'll just try to do our best to get you. But I would like to open the floor for questions, comments, any questions from the floor, Dr. Viller or Dr. Chen, anybody who are interested to ask questions from our colleagues. Also, Dr. Potapova, how far are you from the center of Kiev? Did we lose her?
She might have lost her connection. She told that she has
Yeah.
lost her connection.
So-
I know that she is not really far away from Kiev, maybe 10, 15 kilometers. She's on the suburbs.
Yeah. And so can you tell us kind of the historic perspective? I mean, why would Russia attack Ukraine? Because there's a lot of discussions, a lot of things going on in the media. You know, I would like to know your perspective from, kind of from a Ukrainian. So can you give us a little bit of a history lecture here?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you know, as you know, when there was a USSR time, Ukraine was providing like 80% of the grain and other factories for the whole USSR. It was like the heart of the USSR. Our ground is used for the agriculture. It's very rich. Also, the German army during the World War II, they stole our like ground and bring it to Germany to encourage their agriculture. And Russian history of our like history, it's that Russia comes from the Kievska Rus, so from Rus, but it's not true because Kiev is like much older than Moscow. And when Kiev was one of the most powerful cities in the Europe, Moscow was not even developed. That's why we are different. But Putin says that Russia is Ukraine wasn't present and it's Russia and all of them are Russian people. For this war, they are saying that in Ukraine, Russian people are not having the rights and Ukrainian government and everybody do not respect them. And they come to protect the people from our Nazi regime. That's what he did in the Lugansk and Donetsk. But Lugansk and Donetsk was pro-Russian territories. It was actually like, Al Capone region, a lot of banditism there from that time when Ukraine started to be independent. And people there, they welcomed Putin. When Putin came, they said, yeah, he will save us. We are happy to see him. That's why they didn't feel that much. They felt the support in that regions and they expected, okay, we will come to Kiev and we will also feel the support. But no, our people decided that no, it's not true. We do not need any protection. You have your own huge country. Think about it. But people in Russia, they are suffering 3 times more than us. But for example, even I have relatives in Russia and they are so obsessed with their television and they believe in different things and then say, yeah, it's true, it's war, it's needed. These people bring us bad things, and their television actually manipulated them. People do not have what to eat. People do not have their villages. If you compare Ukrainian village and Russian village, in Russian village there's alcoholism, full disruption, no places to work. If you look at this, it's like 18th century. If you see the pictures of it, but Ukrainian village was always people are very hardworking, open-minded, and Ukraine was on the whole of our history. We always protected our lands from the Austro-Hungarian, from Poland on one side, and from Russia. They always wanted to take our territory because it's located close to the Azov Sea and Black Sea. So it's open access to the sea, and also it's the heart center of the Europe. Actually, the center of the Europe is located on the west of Ukraine. That's why also good place to do the agriculture and good climate zone. That's why Russia needs our lands and they want to take them.
That's fantastic, education for me personally, because again, most people would think that, okay, Ukraine, Russia, they were part of each other. What's the big deal? Let them take it. But then there are cultural differences, right? So what are those cultural differences? Is your language the same?
Our language, Ukrainian language, it's one of the Slavic languages, and Russian and Ukrainian are similar. In Ukraine, we speak a lot of Russian because in the USSR, Russian was the general language for everybody. But if you compare the common words in Russian and Czech language, for example, it also has 80% similarity in some extent. Russian language actually do not have its history. It's not the real language. It's combined from many languages and it's more artificial. But the time of USSR developed it and spread it to the world. That's why it started to be popular. Also, if you read the history of Kiev Rus, it was a very huge empire. in the old times, and our army, the Kozaki, they were very famous armies that even French army took our soldiers to support them. And that was real Ukrainian. But then we had the Katerina II, Katerina II, when it was the Russian Empire. She actually broken down our army. She forbidden to speak Ukrainian. They fired a lot of libraries, book. They killed a lot of Ukrainian intellectuals. They always did it. Then when it was the USSR time, they killed a lot of also people who were supporting Ukraine. You probably heard the Bandera, they called us Bandera, but these people wanted to protect their lands, their language, and their culture. And they always tried to do it. That's why we always expected it, but we didn't believe that it will happen. And right now, like all of us shocked from this situation, why they hate us so much. Like we have our own land, our own culture, our own everything. Like, why do you need us? You have a huge territory. Why it's not enough for you?
Mm-hmm. Dr. Potapova, what is your thought? What is your history lessons you can give to us here from your standpoint, if you're still on the call? So maybe she got disconnected. I'm trying to...
She told me that she has bad connections. That's why probably she's disconnected.
Yeah, so I think, again, if anybody has any questions from the audience or any comments from the audience, Dr. Ashford from Stanford University.
Thank you, Wes Ashford. We talked briefly when we were on the wrong call this morning. I'm glad to see you finally made it. If you could come to the United States, we would certainly welcome you over here. We'd even have a fellowship program for individuals such as yourself. We are just aboard. We think it's absolutely terrible what Russia's done. This is just, it's so Hitler, it's so 20th century. This is not the way the world's supposed to be. I am here at this meeting devoting a fair amount of time trying to understand Alzheimer's disease and glioblastomas. I don't need to deal with any more traumatic brain injuries, and I work at a VA hospital. I take care of people who've been injured in war all the time. And when I tell them we don't need any more wars, this is terrible that has happened. This is from another century in another time. And although, you know, it's up to the President of the United States and it's up to NATO and some other countries to come together on this, and maybe the United Nations, but, you know, the leaders of the world need to show some leadership and get this stopped and let people develop in the ways that they wish to develop and have some freedom in the world. So anyway, sorry for my harsh comments.
No, that's great. That's great. We can keep going, and I would like to ask from the audience, come and make some comments and express yourself, because we're live on YouTube now. So, and I think
this is Lucas Kuberda. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So I'm origin from Poland. I came 31 years ago from Poland when the Poland was still under the communist government. But I know I have family in Poland. Most of the family is, including my mother, who is 92. And but what I know is that the Polish people are trying to accommodate a lot of Ukrainian immigrants. I think it's more than 1 million of them who came to Poland so far. It's more coming, and most of the families trying to take Ukrainians, based on my knowledge, to their homes and accommodate them and feed them. So I think we are like brothers in this situation and trying to protect them to some degree. Of course, being part of NATO now, we have to be kind of careful what we do, how much we help otherwise. But we are, you are in our thoughts, and we support you very much. And we are like brothers or cousins at least, just full of the support for you.
Yes. So from the Polish standpoint, can you tell us what's you see on the ground in terms of refugees? How can we help the Polish refugees over there? I mean, the Ukrainian refugees in Poland. So how can we mobilize? How can we organize? Because what we are good at during COVID-19, once COVID-19 hit, we created a task force, and we had, significant impact on the COVID-19, also during the pandemic, during the actual military curfew. We end up delivering about 1,000 meals to frontline workers in Los Angeles. We delivered 2 trucks full of PPE at the time that PPE was not even available to City of Hope Cancer Center, USC Cedars-Sinai. So what we are good at globally, you're talking about 100,000 scientists globally, good at mobilizing. But we don't have people on the ground. And if you're on the ground, you can tell us what's needed. As I said, we're going to create a task force for Ukraine war, and we're going to pull in every stop to help you guys. Just please give us some guidance, okay?
So I left Poland many years ago. So I'm in Florida now, but I communicate with my family who live in different parts of Poland. So I think the most important is presumably from medical point of view, it's medical supplies, as already doctors from Ukraine explained that the medical supplies are important. I'm sure there is some military needs as well, but that's something that the military personnel could be involved. But I think it's so many people who are compromised by the bombing. So having medications, and I think a lot of medics, military medics who are trained in the battlefield would be very needed. So I think having those medics, participating in recovering those people from places which were damaged by the bombing would be very important. And of course, any type of help, because with having so many millions exiting Ukraine, the supplies may not last a long time. So any type of food and other supplies would be very important to be delivered.
Mm-hmm. As you're talking, I'm texting with NBC News. So basically, I'm telling you, we mobilize, okay? So we can get the help you needed. So Natalia, you met with one of our board members who's the head of Brain Initiative in Europe, Dr. Katrin Ametz. Was that helpful? Is she helping you? So what do you need in Germany, and what do you see Ukrainians who have traveled there are in need of?
Yes, Dr. Katev, thank you. I contacted Dr. Katrin Emnuns, and she actually gave me some guidance. How can I get a permission to work here? And in future, she tells when I do this, maybe she can find some position for me in their research, because here in Germany, I can do some research work or work in institution, but I need a recognition of my diploma to work as a doctor. So it will take a lot of time and the knowledge of language. And we also agreed with her to meet next week if she has time, because now she is in a huge project. She's really busy. Okay. So for now, that's it. And also, I just wanted to add about the Poland, that for now, people are coming to Poland just like refugees, and they only need to be hosted. And what Poland do like perfectly, they provide everything they can. But also, I know that the Poland want to open like a hospital close to the border of Ukraine. And if the war will continue, they will bring people from Ukrainian border to Poland to give them medical support, because maybe our hospitals will be broken, or there will be a lot of people, and I know that they want to do this. So maybe in future they will need some like help of these hospitals, which are going to help Ukrainians.
Great. So Dr. Green, go ahead.
I just, Natalia, we've
Please
been
introduce
chatting.
yourself, and then.
We've been chatting since you were in Kiev, moved to Poland, and now technically in the West in Germany, so we're thrilled about that. And I guess echoing Dr. Kateb and Dr. Ashford, for all those of us who've been to war, or have family that have lived through the 20th century wars. And Dr. Ashford's talking about Putin's Hitler-esque actions. It's scary because we remember that Hitler first went into Czechoslovakia and Poland first. And so that's a disturbing idea that, you know, he's going to encroach upon out of the borders of Ukraine. So we're just really happy to see you in the West and hoping that we can get you further west to here. And
Thank you, Dr. Green.
Thank you,
We
Dr.
have
Green.
another comment.
Yes, as we're talking, I'm thinking about something that was happening about maybe 10 years ago. The Russians were leaving Latvia, and it was actually in March. So this is sort of the anniversary. My wife is a filmmaker and did a documentary around the fact that with the World Association for Infant Mental Health was having its first meeting behind the previously Iron Curtain country. And this is a psychoanalytic sort of approach. The film won several gold medals at film festivals, and I would say that it may be interesting for people to see it.
Okay.
Because it captures the mood of the people just as they're coming out from under the tyranny of Russia. And it's
That would be
fascinating.
great if you can share it. Dr. Chen, any comment from you? From City of Hope Cancer Center, one of our board members and past president. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about how, I remember how you showed up at City of Hope with that truckload of PPE, and when there's a request for medical supplies, if that request could be more specific in terms of what medical supplies, what medicines, you know, antibiotics, whatever, that we can get a hold of, and the mechanisms that we could use to ship those things over, you know, we have experience with that, so.
Any comments about that, Natalia, or I don't know if Dr. Potapova is back or not, but so if you can get us in touch with the Red Cross, and we could definitely try to mobilize and help you. But we are starting a new session here, but I really appreciate your time, Natalia, Dr. Potapova, Dr. Vadim. We wish you luck. You're not alone. You're here, strong behind you, and evil will not prevail. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, everybody.
Dr. Willer, go ahead, last comment.
I just want to commend Natalia and Dr. Potapova personally and salute your courage. And as Dr. Wes Ashford walks up to the podium, I encourage everyone to give you a standing ovation. We're just in awe of you and all your compatriots.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. Clap and stand up. Huh? Come on. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be with you.
I'm exhausted and like
We're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease mechanisms, genetics, inflammation, and immune interactions. And actually, Dr. Carr Smith is the chair. And let's see if Dr. Smith is online. Maybe in 5 minutes. We're going to take a 5-minute break. He's going to let everybody leave. But we have the guard at the door. Don't let anybody leave. Okay, so we'll start in 5 minutes.